Hi boys and girls. So what we've been talking about is graffiti, and we talked about last time about the controversy of graffiti. So whether you think it's vandalism or you think it's art, we can all agree that it's illegal, which means we can't do it or we would be fined or we could go to jail. So what we're doing as our project is we're doing graffiti, but we're doing it inside on paper. So last time you were here, you looked at a graffiti alphabet and you copied your letters onto a sheet of paper. So I'm going to show you how we're going to finish this today. We're going to add color to it. We're going to be using crayons, Sharpies, and markers. So let's get started.
Okay, so today we're going to use lots of tools. We've got our crayons and we've got markers and a Sharpie. We've got our paper from last time with our name on it. If you did not finish your name, you will need to go back into last seesaw and click on one of those two either simple or hard alphabets that you worked on last time, or if you used your own, you'll need to find that to finish up your name. You will also need a pencil and possibly an eraser. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing is I told you that we needed to make some guidelines here to kind of help us know where and how to fit our letters into our space. So if you made those guidelines and you forgot to do this, you do need to go ahead and erase those. We do not need them. We don't need them to show up in our artwork today. So I'm gonna erase that. And then if you did one at the bottom as well, I'm gonna go ahead and erase that. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is we are going to start with a Sharpie. Now, if you actually added the black outline, you can just go over that part today. If you did not add anything for the black outline, you're gonna use a Sharpie marker and you're going to outline all of your letters, just the outside edge of your letters today, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. You know what, I'm actually gonna speed it up so it doesn't take too much of your time. Okay, so I outlined my letters. Don't forget on letters like A and O and R and P, the inside part too to finish up the letter. If you did these little shine things, you don't need to outline those, but you'll need to do the inside of the outline of the letter, okay? So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna get some markers. You can pick any color choices that you want, but you're going to color in your letters, and you can do it all one color. You can do each letter a different color. It's up to you. You do wanna make sure that your markers are nice and juicy. You can always test them out on the back first before you get started, but we don't want any dried up markers. So nice and juicy markers today. I'm gonna start and I'm gonna fill these in on the inside like this with a darker color. Okay. Da-da-da. Not that one. I want to do every other one a different color. Okay. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to fill in those with a different shade of purple. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up so you can watch what I'm going to do today. It looks like I'm done here, but I just want to point out that we want to make sure to completely fill in all of our space inside our letters. And I still have some white space shining through. If you did these little shines, you might outline them with the other color, so that way you can kind of go around them a little bit easier. And then if you have like a little bit of extra white spaces peeking through, you need to go back over the top and kind of finish those up. We want it to look nice and neat. One thing that graffiti artists do is they really are proud of their work. It's kind of like leaving their mark, and they want everybody to know what a great job they did. So we're gonna take our time on this, and we're gonna fill these all in nice and neat. If there's any white spaces that you see, go back in and fix them up. Make sure you get all of them so that they're all solid and even. The next thing that we're gonna do is we are going to, with our crayons, you're gonna pick, or I'm sorry, not with our crayons, we're gonna do this part with marker first. So you're gonna pick one either symbol or shape. I'm just gonna keep it simple for this example, but you could do an arrow, you could do a heart, you could do a Nike sign, whatever you feel like you're gonna do, but it's something that you're gonna have to repeat several times. So I would keep it fairly simple. So what I think I'm gonna do is just a triangle. So in the back, kind of either behind your name or maybe off to the side, you're going to make a shape that's fairly large. I would say it needs to take up about half of the paper, however big you make it. I'm gonna make it all the way behind my name, and I'm gonna draw it as if it's going through or behind the letters, and I'm just gonna make a triangle, okay? Then with your marker, you're gonna fill it in one solid color. You can pick any color you want, but I would recommend that it's a different color than the letters that it's touching. If it was like a purple or an orange, it probably wouldn't show up very well. So I would pick a different color, but you can pick any color that you want. And again, we need to make it large, about half the page here, okay? And I'm gonna fill all of this in with my marker. I'm gonna fill in this part too because it goes back behind these letters here. And again, we wanna cover all of those white spaces. And remember, like a graffiti artist wants to leave their mark, and they don't wanna leave something that's embarrassing and sloppy, because that doesn't look very good for the whole world to see. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna fill in that shape. Whatever shape you picked, so like for example, mine's a triangle. I'm gonna now pick one color crayon, and you can pick whatever color you want. I think I'm gonna do this, what is this color here? Hot magenta, okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the same shape, but I'm gonna make it small and like a pattern. A pattern repeats itself. So in the back, I'm just gonna make triangles over and over again, like a pattern. Filling up my space, leaving a little bit of space in between them, okay? And it's like it's behind, so you can have a little bit peeking out, just kind of like this one here. I didn't see the whole thing. And I'm just gonna fill up my space. I'll speed it up here. Okay, and it should look something like this when you're finished. If you see like extra space and you wanna go back in and fill in a little bit more, you can, but take a look at it and see how it looks. Also notice that I put it in the negative space. The negative space is kind of the area in between the letters. So if you have some of that peeking through, please make sure that you put that repeated pattern in the place. Here's another example that I did of my first name, and I did an arrow on this one, but I just repeated that arrow over and over again. If you do a shape, please make sure your shape is colored in. Don't leave it empty, and just keep them kind of small. That way it'll be simple to fill them in. But that's what it's gonna look like. You're gonna take a picture of your artwork today in Seesaw when you are finished. Good luck, graffiti artists.